Okay, hello everybody and welcome to the Match Day -1 press conference beginning with Grenada. We have Grenada initializing the press conference. We have Arthur Patterson. Arthur, before we begin and open it up, your thoughts on the previous match that Grenada went through, what went well, went wrong, initial thoughts from the debut from the team in the competition.
Yeah, obviously we weren't too pleased with the final result, but I think there were definitely some positives to take from that game. I think we went out and we played some good football at times, and simple mistakes cost us against a good side in Honduras, and I think that's something that we have to make sure we can't let happen moving forward.
Did the team take the chance to see the match for Qatar, a little bit about what they did? What can you guys do to maybe have a better result against them tomorrow?
Yeah, obviously we're always looking at our opponents, and you see their players and what they can do well and sometimes what they can't do well. And yeah, as you saw, it was an open game, a lot of goals in the second half, and I think that just shows that they can concede, but then it also shows that they have the ability to score. So that's obviously something we have to make sure we're on top of, because if we're conceding more goals than last game, that's not going to be pretty.
Victor Riza, Victor, go ahead.
Hey Arthur, just wanted to ask you about inside the locker room, around the players. What's the feeling like? Because obviously it's a very special moment for the team being back in the Gold Cup, and obviously for many of you, the first participation in this competition.
Yeah, the feelings are as they. I mean, we're all excited to be here in the tournament, but we're not pleased with just being here. We want to come out and we want to give some good performances and win some games and show people that we're not just here to participate.
What are some things maybe the coach has spoken with
Going
you guys?
off of that, is tomorrow's match a must-win for the team, right? Is that the expectation within the locker room? And what's going to happen in order to achieve that result, right?
Absolutely. Every game from now on is a must-win, I think, in our heads, because we've dug ourselves a hole and now we have to, climb back out of it. And moving forward, we just have to focus on what we did well and build on that for the next two games.
Next question for Amin, please. Amin, go ahead.
So the first game was really difficult for you guys. You guys had the first chances. You had a really good first half, but then the mistake happened from the keeper. Do you speak to him at halftime? How does it go, Leary?
He's a professional. He knows that a mistake happened, and there's no need to dwell on it and tell him what he already knows. The mistake happened, and that's that. We have to bounce back and continue to play football. Like you said, we had the better of the opportunities in that first 25 minutes, and we just had to bounce back and try to do that, continue to do that.
Okay. Any further questions? No. Thank you, Anthony. We will now move on with the head coach for the team, Michael Findlay. Thank you, Anthony. Okay, continuing on with head coach Michael Findlay. Again, if you want interpretation, I believe we have it available from English and Spanish, so just choose the option from your side. Coach, we'll give you the word to open it up. It's been, right, we had a couple of days here to process the first match. Again, takeaways, how's the team feeling moving forward and preparing for the next match?
Well, first of all, feeling, I think the feeling is good as much as it can be when you are on the negative end of a result. But I think the feeling was that we were better than a lot of people expected us to be. I was very pleased with two aspects. One was their application, and one was their desire and fight, which we talked about deeply in the preparation. This is the first time the team has returned to the Gold Cup, as many people have mentioned. And so this is part of a process, and it's part of not just a learning process, but an experiential process for them to understand what is required. So I've been really pleased with the bounce back emotionally, because as AJ just pointed out, we were, I think, the better team for periods of time throughout the game, and we had some opportunities that if we were more critical in those times, we would have been more successful. So there are positives to take, and we'll build from that.
Kern Mason, go ahead, Kern.
Coach Finley, no doubt a disappointment in the first game. Any loss is a disappointment. But thinking ahead, the general consensus is that we have a lot of international players on the team, and they have not been performing the way how many of the spectators in Grenada would have liked them to perform. First of all, your thoughts on the international players that we have, and secondly, what's the mindset going into the next encounter?
Curran, excuse me, can you please repeat that question? We had a little issue at the beginning of it, please.
Okay, Coach Finley, I was saying no doubt any loss is a disappointment to any team. But looking forward, what's the mood like inside the camp in terms of our next two encounters? And in regards to our international players, most persons would believe that they're not getting what they're supposed to get from international players in a tournament like that. Your thoughts on that?
In terms of the application and the thought process for the next two games, we definitely prepare one game at a time. So first and foremost, we are preparing ourselves for Qatar tomorrow. And then once that game is complete, we'll have a better idea of exactly what the expectations are and what our planning will be as it relates to Panama. And in terms of the feeling, as I said earlier, I'm very pleased with the feeling. I think the players are starting to get a good understanding of what the standard is and what is required. And as this team grows and as this program grows, they'll be able to appreciate the effort that has to go in and the emphasis on professionalism and preparation. So yeah, no, very, very pleased in terms of those steps. In terms of your question about the players, you are always going to get people who are going to have an opinion of how a team plays, and that's football, and that's why we play for the fans, and they have as much of an opinion as anybody else does. It's our staff's job to select the players and to position them accordingly. And in terms of internationals, they're all internationals. They all are international representations of Grenada. So we have been pleased with the performances. I think since my appointment in January, I think we've seen steady growth in our squad and most importantly in the depth of the team. And we hope to continue to build upon that and also mold the groups together as it relates to their locations around the globe, whether that be in Europe, UK, United States, Grenada, wherever that may be, because this is international football.
Thank you, Coach. Next question for Victor Riza. Victor?
Coach, with two games left, and I think the consensus feeling is that you guys have faced maybe the tougher test of the group in Honduras. How confident does the team feel about maybe being able to get a result out of these next two games that are left?
Well, I'm unsure we've played the toughest team. We don't know that because we haven't seen Qatar yet. But yeah, as I said, I think what we are doing is we are trying to establish a strategy and a level of application that matches the opponents that we're encountering. As we know, we have not been to the Gold Cup in many years. This team is in a transitional period. The future, in my opinion, is very bright, but it also needs the light shone on it on a consistent basis in terms of what we're doing to make sure that we're competitive. We play football to win, so we will apply ourselves accordingly in the next two games, starting with Qatar, and we're hoping for a better result than we saw against Honduras, which we, as I said, I think we felt we were a little bit hard done by. But you know what? We pick ourselves up, we brush ourselves off, and we get on with it.
Next question for Amin. Amin, go ahead.
As you said, you haven't been in the Gold Cup in a few years. Last time was 10 years ago. What does this mean for Grenada's football to be here back again in the Gold Cup?
Oh, it's important is probably the best word to use as a description. If we are going to match our vision and our objectives over the long term, being in competitions like this is paramount to that, both to the learning process, the development of our squad, the development of the game, the focus of the game in Grenada, because we have to start looking at producing players that will hopefully join us over the next cycle, that will put us in a great position, both to remain in Nations League A and also, compete in prelims for 2013's Gold Cup and onward into World Cup qualifying in 2026, which seems a long time away. But let's be honest, time goes very quickly, as we've seen over the last couple of years. So we'll be positioning ourselves very soon to build towards that. And so being in competitions like this is absolutely essential for our growth and the education experience for our players.
Okay, we'll begin the Matchday -1 press conference for Qatar with Abdulaziz Hatem. A reminder, if you want interpretation, it is available from your side. Unfortunately, Zoom does not have the access to show Arabic, but we will have Arabic translation if you just click in the Portuguese from your side. Okay, so Portuguese will be for Arabic translation from your side. Okay, we'll open up beginning with Jimmy Rodriguez. Jimmy, go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, Jimmy Rodriguez, Deportes Televicentro, Honduras. I just want to know your experience so far in this Gold Cup, and how did you analyze your rival Grenada in the game versus Honduras? Thank you.
Well, for us, of course, we are gaining experience from this championship. It's an important competition in our road and preparation towards World Cup. The next meeting is a very important match, and it is a critical one for us for qualification.
Okay. Next question for Amin. Amin, go ahead.
This BFI News, I'll ask you the same question that I asked your colleague Hassan Haidous. Tuesday is Eid. How do you feel on that day? It's a holiday when you're away from your from family. Well, of course, it's difficult, but we have priorities. We are representing our country, and that is above and beyond everything else. We have to sacrifice that. Of course, we will celebrate it with them remotely, but their prayers are with us and our hearts are with them, and we'll make it a happy holiday for them, and we enjoy it as well here.
Your thoughts, first CONCACAF match, so to say, against the CONCACAF opponent. What were your thoughts of that Panama side, of their style of play, of how it was? Was it what you were expecting? And what was the thought behind that match?
Of course, we know it's a different school, different level. For us, it's important. It was important to play against different schools and within the same competition, the Gold Cup, which is one of the most important competitions for us in our preparation towards the World Cup. And Panama's team was a very good one. We played well, but we have better, and we hope to do better.